Hello, everyone. Welcome to the RGA Members Podcast, where we elevate professionals in our network one guest at a time. My name is Matt Coots. I'm the COO of RGA Network. RGA, if you're not familiar, is a membership organization for business professionals. We are a connection and relationship organization focused on providing tools, education, growth opportunities, and more to our members. I'm here today to introduce our member, Christy Maldonado. And Christy, why don't you introduce yourself and what business you are in?
I'm honored to be here. My name is Christy Maldonado. My company is called Social Media Marketing by Christy Maldonado, LLC. I am a little bit more than just social media. I do overall marketing, which encompasses your business cards, your websites, maintenance, things of that nature. And it also covers planning for the future. Like I tell everyone, if you don't plan, it's not going to come out right. So we use strategic planning and marketing. We set budgets. We keep accountability with goals set in mind for your business and your marketing. So it's really an overall encompassing thing. Recently, I've been honored to speak at a few forums. So I've also stepped up and engaged in public speaking engagements. And with my background as an attorney for over 30 years, I talk to people about marketing and the law and how to keep them out of trouble when it comes to the world of marketing. Because we assume we click here and we do this and we do that, but the law has nothing to do with it. And that couldn't be further from the truth.
And one of the things that we really do want to get into is a little bit more about your background, because you obviously have a different perspective from the social media and the marketing than most marketers that are out there having that legal background. One of the things that I know you were a part of with RGA was our authoring program. And I just wanted to briefly touch on what you've been able to do with that, being an author in our program and being an Amazon #1 bestselling author, because I know that you talked briefly about, or you spoke about, mentioned about, whatever you want to call it, the fact that you were speaking and expanding into that arena. And I think that was, if I'm recalling, that was a piece of what you used as to create that credibility.
Absolutely. I was honored to be a part of both books, Best Business Minds in Tampa Bay and How to Maximize Your Network. Each one
Mhm.
propelled me to a different level. It gave me credibility, number one. Number two, it gave me an open forum to discuss with people as a published author and an Amazon bestseller. And every time I go to speaking engagements now, I take the books with me so that I can pass it on to someone else. It's a it's an entryway for me to have a discussion with potential clients for not only marketing, but future speaking engagements. And it adds credibility to my resume. I am an attorney. I am an author. I'm a public speaker. I have degrees in marketing and finance and law. And I've been in business as an independent contractor with this business for 9 years, but overall for 19 years.
That's fantastic. So diving into some of our other questions here, because obviously there's just a whole wealth to go through of experiences to share. But what would you say in those 9 years specifically that you've been in marketing? What would you say are some of the biggest challenges that, we'll go twofold here? One that you have faced, and then once we talk about that, we'll say what are some of the challenges that your clients have faced that you've helped them through. So let's focus on what are some of the challenges that you've faced getting into the marketing world, because obviously I have my own hot take about the marketing world these days, but let's hear from you first.
People have a lot of ideas and they want to spend a ton of money. My approach is more organic. And the reason for that is you couldn't do the same thing organically than spending a ton of money. Unfortunately, I have a lot of people come to me once they've spent all their money and say, "What do I do now?" And that's unfortunate. So my experience has to been incorporate the process of setting goals and setting budgets so that we don't get into trouble down the road. And marketing is actually lifting you up instead of being a stranglehold financially. And things that my clients have experienced when they've done certain things, when they get cease and desist letters for copying someone else's stuff. At that point, there's not a whole lot I can do about that. But the reason I got into the whole marketing and the law area discussion is because it happens all the time in real life. and people don't know what they don't know. So my passion is to educate everyone so that they can go forth and do their business properly without fear of reprisal.
Right. 100%. So that being said, obviously, I would almost say that the the topics that you're going through when you're speaking about marketing and the law, I feel like that is something that is very undervalued in the marketing world. Are you reaching out and working with other marketing firms as a consultant yet? Or is that something that you see on the horizon as you start to really niche into that whole concept of marketing and creative and content?
I have a few clients that are just consulting clients for that reason.
Yeah.
However, I would like to expand that base because there's so many people. I know of one person when I worked prior to being in the marketing world, they basically had to shut down their business because everything they did was with a logo that was trademarked.
Right.
And
Right.
once that rock starts to fall down the hill, it becomes a boulder by the time it gets down there. So my desire is to consult with other marketing firms to educate them on what they don't know. I see a lot of things out there and I would love to do that going forward.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure. For sure. And there are quite a few marketing people that are in RGA. So I feel like there could be some collaborative opportunities there for sure to do some promotion to just the general public in that regard. Cause I don't think many people that are out there are even aware of the legalities of the situation, what could potentially be at risk, all of those things. How would you say that because you have so much going on, how would you say that you stay motivated and maintain your focus as you've been growing? How would you say you've done that as you've been building this business over the last 9 years? Because obviously the internet world changes almost on a daily basis. So you've got different aspects. You've got your client work, you've got your almost, you could call it continuing education, where you're still learning the new trends, right? Your trendication, we'll call it. I just made up a madism. I love it when I do that. And obviously you do have CE on everything else you're doing. So tell me a little bit about how you manage all of those different components of what you're doing and how you stay motivated.
Thank you for that question because a lot of people kind of skip that part and it's really important. For me, taking care of myself physically, mentally, spiritually has been a real asset to my business. We're all busy. We're all wearing a million hats. We're all trying to do all the things. I've learned to delegate to people who are smarter than me and the things that are not my forte. B, to take care of myself because I'm a solopreneur. And if I go down, the ship goes down with me. And C, to stay motivated, I get passionate about things. I talk to people all the time. I engage in online conversations. I educate myself. This stuff can be fun if you really dig into it and enjoy it. And I really try to treat my clients like family. So they're not just a number to me. So instead of building client after client, I'm building relationships, which is really what drew me to RGA because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I always say that RGA is not a lead organization. It's a connections and relationship organization because we're really about the community and empowering everybody and giving them the platform and tools and things that they need to be able to create those relationships and to add value to their business and all of those things. One of the topics that seems to be cropping up, I'm going a little off script here, that seems to be cropping up in conversation with a lot of the entrepreneurs that I've been talking to over the last, I want to say, month or so going into this year, because right now we're sitting here at the end of March, is really about scheduling. And because one of the things that happens, especially in RGA, is there's so many things that you can be doing on a daily basis inside of RGA. There's a meeting every day that you could go to, and at least here in the Tampa Bay area. And then you've got some days it's more than one meeting. So it's really scheduling your time commitments, and I've been having these really dynamic conversations. Some people seem to work really well in a structured environment. Some people work really well in a less structured environment, but with the goal of always trying to be as structured as possible. Me personally, I operate in a state of structured chaos, I would call it. where I know generally what I'm doing and that I have appointments, but everything changes so quickly as an entrepreneur that I need to have the adaptability and flexibility to change my schedule rather quickly. But I also know some people who are very scheduled and they do very well as well. So I really think it's more of a personality. What would you say you are? Are you more of somebody who really focuses on it's super important to have a schedule, or it's more important to be agile and have a framework versus a point by point schedule for yourself every day of the week? Just to get your hot take moment on that.
For me, it's a framework. People
Yeah.
change appointments all the time. Things change all the time. Doors and opportunities open all the time, like today.
Mhm. Yeah.
I have to be I have to be flexible and adjust myself to be able to not only walk through the doors of the opportunity, but to get the work done. And for
Yeah.
me, it is not a chaos as long as I have my priorities in place and I know these top 5 things need to be done today to get the work done. So the way I set up my day is there's time in the morning for Christy to just pray and meditate, take a walk, do all the
Drink
things.
coffee.
Then there's drink coffee, all the fun stuff. And then there's time for me to go to a meeting or do a mom or a dad, which is a one on one with someone. So I set those up at least a couple of times a week, if not 3 times a week. And the rest of my time, I do education, which consists of educating myself in my field and also personal development. And finally, I make sure that the things are attended to the cleaning, the cooking, all the stuff nobody wants to do.
Yeah.
Right. So it's an overall well balanced day. I try not to work until midnight every night because that's not the life I want to live. It's not functional for me. And setting boundaries and letting people know what I will be doing today or tomorrow. When do you need it done? Always ask the question because somebody may not need something until next week. So I can take on other things today and postpone that to 2 days from now. It's a matter of just talking to your clients. Communication is very critical. Having an open mind when opportunities come up so that you can say, yes, I'd love to do that. Let me get ready right now and hop on or do whatever needs to
Right.
be done and allowing yourself the grace to make mistakes because we're human beings and really just enjoying your life because it can't be all work and no play. Okay. There has to be
No, man.
some kind of enjoyment in your life. Doesn't have to break the bank, but there has to be something that gives you joy and fun and peace and camaraderie with other people that all has to be incorporated in. And it sounds like a lot and overwhelming, but it's really not. It's one day at a time because I don't know what
Yeah.
tomorrow's going to bring.
Yeah, and that's the point is everybody throws around this term work-life balance. And I think that balance really depends on A, who you are, what your optimum almost like run rate is. Do you function better are you more productive at a higher balance rate where you're making sure that you have enough quality time for yourself? Are you more productive can you operate at a 60/40 or 70/30? Do you sprint more often than not? I know one of the RGA Speaks things we had last year, we talked about doing a 90-day sprint, like for your goals, going through these sprint cycles for your business, but then making sure you're taking the time to recharge. There's a lot of different things there, but it's really all about finding what you operate the best at, both professionally and personally, and not
One
pushing
thing I will
yourself
share
into a
that has
state where you have so much stress because you're working too much or you're not working enough.
One thing I will share that has been exceptionally helpful to me is having an accountability partner,
Mm,
someone to hold my feet to the fire because I could set all goals all day long. And if I
yeah.
don't do them, then what's the point? So I find that having to face someone on a monthly basis and say, oops, I didn't do that, or yes, I achieved that goal keeps me straight.
And just out of curiosity, is that somebody in RGA?
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
They actually are in RJ. Okay, fantastic. So, is this somebody that
Mhm.
you see almost on a weekly basis at meetings, or do you just have a once a month touch point where you get together once a month specifically to talk about your situation? Or
We text back and forth. We we text back and forth during the week, but once a
Mhm.
month we have a standing appointment, however long it takes to go through all the things and figure
Yeah,
out why something wasn't done, what changed, what needs to be done
that
going
happens.
forward. And
No, yeah.
I will tell you, last year, as a result of that, I doubled my income in 2023.
Oh yeah, and that's going along the lines of accountability and just it's not that these are commitments that you yourself are making. Like you're determining your end result, your goal, and then this person, or if you have a group of people perhaps that you are in a group with that you're being accountable to, however you're doing that, these are your goals. So this isn't oftentimes the word accountability in today's society. I feel like it is thrown about as almost a negative thing. And I think that one of the things we need to do is we have to realize that as small business owners, as entrepreneurs, as business professionals, if we don't declare what we are trying to accomplish and then have somebody that actually reminds us of that and helps us make sure that we're moving to that direction, then we're missing the boat because then it's just if we keep our goals private, then nobody knows. There's no, it's like when you hit a bad shot in golf, you hit the shot, you aimed the shot, but if you just take a mulligan every time you hit a bad shot, then you have no accountability for the bad shots. There's something to be said about hitting a bad shot, just ripping one into the water and having to go take that drop in front of everybody. There's just something to be
Absolutely.
said about that. Accountability, if done properly, accountability can be a very good thing, not just for you, but for your business. And we all have some level of accountability, whether it's family or community. Having that in your business is definitely not a bad thing to have, for sure. So let me pull things back here. What are some of your long-term, and we talked a little bit about it, but what are some of your with long-term goals or aspirations for your business and what are you trying to achieve big picture?
Long term goal, I'm trying to create an environment for people to have a comprehensive marketing experience. And by that, it's not just about posting on social media, it's about talking about their goals. How do we achieve where they want to be in the next 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, 10 years? So that's one of the things that I'm actually implementing right now with my clients. I am really passionate about educating people. So I'm hopeful that the speaking engagements will take off because there's so many people that don't know things about marketing that they really should know as a business owner. And unfortunately, if you don't know, it could get you into hot water. So that is a goal of mine. And another goal is to get into the consulting for larger businesses to let them know legally where they stand, what are the trends in government, and so forth. There are things going on right now in the US and other countries that are coming to a US state near you. So, all of these things we have to be mindful of and keep abreast of because when they get here, you don't want to be caught off guard. So, those are long
No.
term goals for me. And I am really excited about the opportunities I have been given through RGA and otherwise. I am excited for an upcoming speaking engagement at the Toastmasters Regional Conference in St. Petersburg on May 4th. And you and I will be at St. Leo's University on Tuesday. So
Yes, we will.
looking forward to that.
So, yeah, that'll be fun. So ending question here. And this one has to do with entrepreneurship and small business ownership and all of that. What is one myth that you would say or misconception about entrepreneurship that you think if people didn't have it could help them? So, in other words, I think, for example, one of the things that I always think about is being an entrepreneur or self employed means that you're in business alone. And depending on your profession, you're only alone if you remain Because once you decide what you're doing, then you can go join organizations like RGA or professional organizations in your industry. But do you have any specific myth or just misconception that you think makes it harder for people to be entrepreneurs than it really needs to be?
Yes, they can do it all. They can do it all by themselves. They can be the
And there's
bookkeeper. They can be the person doing the work. They can be the secretary. They can be whatever it is. That is such a big myth because even if you were a solo entrepreneur, you need a team to help you, a professional team. You need a business lawyer, you need a CPA, you need a bookkeeper, you need all the thing. Okay. Part of the reason people hire me is because they need a marketing person on their team. So I, many years ago, went into business thinking, oh, I can do it all. And that was a big fat myth. And I tell you, I learned the value of bringing people alongside me as team members, even if I am a solopreneur, to lift me up professionally in the areas where they are strong and I am weak.
perfect. Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. Okay, it's fantastic. How can people get a hold of you, Christy? Where can they find you? Give us your website, your social media handles, wherever you prefer people look you up.
You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and X, Christy Maldonado. My website is www.christy, Christy, Maldonado @8.com. And my phone number is 813-403-1327.
Perfect. And as everybody who's watching this knows, our mission here at RGA is to help empower our business community. This podcast is a super important part of our mission because it gives you and the rest of our members a platform to promote and share their business, their story, their mission. So thank you, Christy, for participating today. All things RGA can be
Thank you for
found on our
having me.
website. Of course, can be found on our website at rganetwork.net or any of your preferred social media channels. You can find us on just about everything. So thank you again, Christy. And we will see all of you again soon on our next podcast.